Hey, we're looking for a few good men and women who are awesome sales and marketing professionals in the manufacturing and industrial space or related fields. Listen, we're trying to build our community here at IndustrialSage.com, and we are looking for contributors to come in and to be able to help us with some blog content on a somewhat frequent basis, whether that's once a month, once a week, once a year, what have you. So if you feel you've got that experience and you love marketing, you love sales in this space, we'd love to hear from you. Fill out your information on the form, do it today, and we'll get going, and we're excited to talk.
Welcome to Industrial Sage, a free weekly video podcast series all about digital marketing for industrial manufacturers. Hear interviews with your peers and find out how they're solving the same challenges that you might be facing in your own field. Coming to you from the Optimum Production Studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is Industrial Sage.
Okay, so for today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about some best practices on sharing content on social media. So, you've heard this thing of social selling a lot. It's very important. It's growing a lot. We talked about social selling a couple episodes ago. You can take a look at that and recap that if you want to. Basically, it's really using your social media network to generate business, develop relationships, and go from there. So if you're not doing that, you really need to do that. Check out that episode. And this is going to be some best practices on how to do that. So we're going to I want to share some experiences that we had recently at MODEX. So if you haven't been listening lately, we went to MODEX a couple months ago, and we brought IndustrialSage on the road, and we talked to a lot of different companies. We wanted to talk to all the different, well, if you're not familiar with MODEX, it's material handling. So a lot of supply chain, robotics, forklifts, and automation solutions. It's really cool. Industrial automation was obviously a really big thing there. So we talked to over 30 companies, or actually more than that. We interviewed around 27 to 30 of them and got a sense of the different products and the innovations that they're bringing to market. But then we also talked to them and find out what they are doing from a marketing standpoint. I really wanted to get a sense and just really kind of get boots on the ground and get an understanding of top marketing tactics and all that good stuff. So what we did is we packaged these videos and we put them up on IndustrialSage. You can go check those out at MODEX. There should be a button at the top of the website. If you're listening, go to the IndustrialSage.com and you can see that. And so what we did is we took all these videos, made blog articles out of them, and then we syndicated them, shared them with everybody that we talked to. And the first several minutes was all about them and their product and their innovation. So it was really rich content from a promotional standpoint, from a marketing standpoint that they could use. We put together a guide that was a best practice on how to share it and how to really leverage it. And it was really interesting what we discovered. So sort of the breakdown on that is the first thing you want to do when it comes to social media content is you really want to figure out that destination. What are you trying to do? Is it a brand awareness piece? Is it a marketing piece? Are you trying to drive traffic to a landing page so they can get an understanding of that product or service? You really need to have that sort of frame of mind of that destination. We have a piece of content. But even before we have that piece of content, what are we trying to do? How are we trying to drive people to do? What do we want them to do when they get there? So you got to be thinking about that. It's going to a website, going to a landing page, could be interacting with you on social media, on your channel there. But figuring out what that destination is really important. That next piece is actually promoting your content. Now, this is something that is really just completely for lack of better words, it's kind of forgotten. There's a big misconception that you take, let's say, video or an ebook or whatever, and you just put it up on your website or you put it on your social media channel, and just naturally it's going to go viral. Now, there is an element of that. It's not that it's going to go viral, but it will help to kind of grow a little bit there. But if you're not really invested, let's say on LinkedIn, for example, and you're not really engaged in the community and having those conversations, those interactions are going to not going to be as strong. If you're really engaged, on the other hand, that'll really help. But you really have to really promote and push that stuff, that content out there, and that could be in the form of paid. So paid advertisements through LinkedIn or paid advertisements through Facebook, if that's a strategy for you, or pay-per-click campaign that's driving to a website. But that is really important. One of the best ways of being able to promote your content is on LinkedIn, for example, is if you tag companies or people that are inside that content. That's a really great way of kind of creating that visibility and getting it out there. But just by taking something, a blog article or video, and putting it on your website and leaving it there, you're not going to get a whole lot of traction. You've got to push it out there. A really great tactic that we love it's hard to do, but man, you get a lot of benefit out of it, is make sure, like, go talk to everybody in your company or in your department or whoever there. If you've got a piece of content that's going up that marketing is pushing out or you're pushing out as a salesperson out individually, go ask and go tell other people to go share that content. You can share it. You can press the little share button and send it as a message and message people and say, hey, would you mind sharing this with your network? I would appreciate it, depending on who they are, how well you're connected to them. And you'll be amazed about what that does, because that really increases that viral ability, if you will. So the more people that share it and post it on their networks will see their content, and then if they share it and it goes on and on and on, and that's how you're able to have really big view counts. That's how you're able to have a lot of people commenting and liking and sharing. And the more likes and interactions and shares that you get, the better. LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social media like that. And so that is a really great way of being able to promote your content. A really good example is we had one of the guys from Hopica. We gave him the video content from MODEX, and TJ, and we'll put some links so you can take a look at this. He took this and actually made a blog article using LinkedIn Pulse. He took our video, embedded it on the page, and then also made a post and pushed that out. As of a couple of weeks ago, he had over 2,100 views. He had lots of comments and lots of likes, and that just really helped to increase his reach. And so it was very simple. It was a great piece of content, but he promoted it. He didn't just put it up on a page and let it, just kind of let it see what happens. You got to really, accelerate it a little bit. If you really, really want to amp it up, put some paid media behind it, some advertising dollars. So the other thing is about sharing the content is really just, I touched on it a little bit, was that networking and really developing that relationship. And where we see some really great value is if you are providing value to somebody else and then you tag them and you comment on LinkedIn. I'm heavily focused on LinkedIn here, but because that's a big focus for us. But when you do that and you do something that's not necessarily super self-serving, so in other words, I'm selling widgets and I really want to push this widget. But if I go and I put a piece of content up there that is talking about them, or it's helping them, or I'm thinking about that and I'm sharing that content, that goes just a super long way. Everybody talks about how you get a lot of pushback with digital marketing on, our business is so relationship driven, and yeah, it is. It absolutely is. But the beauty of social selling, the beauty of using content like this and doing this type of strategy is that this is a really great way of being able to build relationships. Digital marketing is not about replacing relationships. It is not. It's helping to augment it. It's helping to scale it. It's helping to automate it a little bit. All right. It can't be like super spammy and super out there. But when you go and you start creating really relevant content, creating valuable content, sharing it with your network, bringing people in, helping them to solve their challenges, their problems, and really getting that out there and helping them, that comes back 100-fold. So anyways, there's just a couple best practices and examples on how to share your content. Some real-world examples on what we've done with MODEX. And actually, if you're interested, too, we've got a little downloadable on our website. We'll put this in the show notes, too. It's actually, we're going to talk about the top marketing tactics that we learned from MODEX, and we just got a little ebook there. You can take a look at that. It's like I said, it's very anecdotal, but it'll just give you a sense of what we were hearing boots on the ground, and we think that's really valuable. So I'm done for this episode. If you have any questions, hey, I'd love to answer them. You can reach out to me at industrialsage.com/questions. Love to answer those questions. And please, if you're listening on iTunes, we'd love a rating, or if you're on or engage with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, we're all over there. If you're on our website or not, go industrialsage.com. We can jump on our email list. We'll send you out these videos every single week. And until next week, I'm Danny Gonzalez, and this is Industrial Sage.